I would call it a captain's chair because it's a boat you're driving.
It is definitely a captain's chair. We've got captain's chairs behind too, and this is definitely a great big boat of a machine. So if you're not a big fan of setting up tents, this makes a really, really good solution. I'm Justin Pritchard. This is the Ford Expedition Max, and those are some of the things we'll be learning about in this video.
An Expedition Max is a lengthy machine, basically a stretch version of the F-150 based Expedition upon which it's built. A foot of added length earns the Max badge on the tailgate, and cargo capacity behind the third seating row is increased considerably. It also turns this cruiser into a fantastic place for adults to sleep very comfortably during a camping trip. More on that later. My Expedition Max Platinum tester got second row captain's chairs and a third row split bench, all of which flip and fold to create a flat surface in seconds. Literally, you press a button and all of the seats disappear. It goes from people mover to cargo van in 5 seconds or less, and what a massive cargo van it is. When rear seating is in use, clever cubbies and charge ports run alongside the outboard third row passengers. With their seats folded, these same provisions mean storage and organization and charging flank the cargo area. If you need to reach in and move something without climbing on board, the power deployable running boards give you a handy step. If you need to keep kids or pets contained but ventilated at the campsite, the rear tailgate glass opens separately of the door. Flip it up and it's a fun place for the family to sit down and eat lunch inside if it's raining. As a package, here's a vehicle with a long list of features that take the stress and work out of switching from one activity to the next. Max and I had a good time on the highway. Adaptive cruise control and lane keeping systems are as on the ball as they come, with smooth positional corrections that reduce driver workload without startling or intrusive adjustments. Interior noise levels are admirably hushed even at a good clip, and though truck-like by way of a rigid density apparent to the ride, most highway cruising sees drivers floating along in near silence from a commanding driving position, with a nicely calibrated set of assist features helping reduce their workload. Extra points for the vigorous massage seats, complete with heat and ventilation. These are a nice touch, but the sound of the various motors and air pumps that power the massage feature may prove too intrusive for your quietest moments at the wheel.
So camera guy James, who has heard the exhaust sound of literally hundreds and hundreds of different vehicles.
And of all the vehicles we ever shot, this one is the most whistly.
The most whistly. That's the EcoBoost twin turbo engine you're hearing.
Okay, well, it's whistling while it works.
This is a very, very big vertical screen. Get you right up close in here for a better look at these graphics. And what you can see here, not a pixel in sight, very clean, very sharp, very easy to read. Good contrast with that black text on the white background too. We've got the floating volume control dial here, so that rotates over top of the screen. We push in there to turn everything off. And the way this is all animated, and the way that everything responds to you, and the way that it switches between one function and the next, makes it really easy to re-engage your phone if you have to, instantly get to the settings, the functions, the features that you want.
Platinum models like my tester, the 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 generates 400 horsepower and 480 pounds of torque. Lower grade models deliver slightly lower power output. In any configuration, this engine is a low-end torque expert. As a habit, I flipped Max into Eco mode at engine startup and began playing a game of how few revs do I need whenever accelerating. You'll hardly hear a peep from the engine room or feel a shift from the 10-speed transmission in the process. If you're a little patient with your acceleration and use Eco mode, I think you'll find the mileage to be highly reasonable given Max's heft. And when driven in no particular rush, I found it a wonderful place to sit back, socialize, relax, and watch hours of northern highways pass by out the giant windows.
Now, no surprise, there's a lot of room in here, but let me show you how that pans out if you're a 5'10", 200-pound guy like me. So my comfortable seated driving position here.
I would call it a captain's chair because it's a boat you're driving.
It is definitely a captain's chair. We've got captain's chairs behind too, and this is definitely a great big boat of a machine. So what we can see here, no crowding around the knees, plenty of headroom. Even with that sunroof overhead, I've still got well over the width of my hand above me in terms of headroom space. We've got a dial shifter here that saves a bit of space, proper cup holders, lots of glass around too, good outward view, really conducive to giving you an environment where you can just sort of sit back, relax and enjoy the scenery. Now let's see how someone of my size would fit in the second and third row seats behind. I mean, you could put a couple of suitcases, backpack, tons of storage space on the floor here if you need it. So that's 2 captain's chairs up front, 2 captain's chairs in the middle row with a ton of space in between. Let's try that third row seat. Your side, so we can fold these down. Oh, there we go, that's how you do it. So we can either fold these down this way, fully flat. If we want to get in the back seat more easily, we just pull this latch. It's going to tip up and out of the way. Look at the size of this opening here. Some 3-row SUVs, you get about this much room. Here I can pretty much walk right through. So here is me, a full-sized adult. I can almost stand up in here, which is awesome. Here I am in the third row. Now I am jammed up a little closer to the ceiling, and I don't have the abundant knee room here. Just push this out of the way. One more stop. We're going to go to the very back here for a sec. Now you just saw me fit comfortably in the front row, comfortably in the middle row, and just about comfortably in the third row. But even behind that, look at how much cargo space we still have behind those third row seats. So 3 seating rows, tons of space in behind. Other thing to draw your attention to, storage underneath here. We've got a full-size spare under the vehicle, so this area is used for some additional storage. A little more here. Bins to keep your stuff out of sight. But I think the best trick is that this can go from a people hauler to a cargo van in just a couple of seconds at the press of a button. Check this out. This is how we control the seat position here. And when we want a cargo van, just push here and push here. And in about 5 seconds, the headrests fold down automatically, both seating rows disappear. And what you've got there is a fully flat cargo storage area and a great place to sleep if you're camping too.
Ride quality in the back roads was a strong point from my test drive too, mostly. My rough road testing route includes several dozen kilometers of badly crumbling back roads which I use as a shake, rattle, and roll test for trucks and crossovers. On these surfaces, a lot of machines ride terribly and a few are not too bad. I appreciated Max's strong steering isolation, which results in near-nil levels of feedback from the road surface. That's an easier time keeping the vehicle pointed where I want it to go and less workload at the steering wheel. Body motions rarely become dramatic, though heavily undulating surfaces may require a little extra caution. Mostly, the machine feels tough and durable beneath the driver, much more truck-like than crossover-like in many regards. Still, while the suspension and interior panel noises are largely kept to a dull roar, drivers frequenting surfaces like these will likely find the backroads ride more impressive for its composure than its noise levels. Further, certain dips and bumps in the road can fling Max's backside into the air on suspension rebound, causing cargo in the rear to go airborne a moment if you don't keep your speed in check. After 1,600 kilometers of highway and backroads driving, I wished for a more energetic response from the brakes at times, but mostly found the Expedition Max a spacious setup with a peaceful drive, excellent driver assist features, solid ride comfort in the bush, and a fuel bill that should prove reasonable as four-wheel drives with a 9,000 plus pound towing capacity go.
So if you're not a big fan of setting up tents, this makes a really, really good solution. Here's a look.
Look, I'm a Northern Ontario guy, but I really don't like camping. There are mosquitoes, it always rains, my favorite bed and coffee are at home, and setting up a tent is high on the list of things I don't really like to do. But packing for a camping trip with Max is a breeze. There's no drama or second guessing whether you can bring something or whether things will fit. The massive fold-flat cargo area sees to that. You've got a lot of room and seating configurations to play with here. Forgetful? Just bring everything. There's room. No Tetris required. Second, the Expedition Max makes a great place to sleep on a camping trip. If the kids want to sleep outside in a tent like a peasant, then that's fine, there's room to bring one, but for me, well, I'm sleeping in here. After all, my number one camping stress is wondering if I'll get a good night's sleep. If you commonly avoid camping trips for fear of losing a good night's sleep, like me, then you're very nicely covered. Use the inclinometer built into the instrument cluster to ensure a level parking surface for maximum sleeping comfort. It's a handy touch. The cargo hold is exactly as wide as 2 standard adult-sized sleeping pads, and I could inflate a Coleman Queen double-wide mat with a bit of a squeeze. The handy storage and cargo provisions flanking the cargo hold become dual bedside tables, complete with water bottle holders, charging ports active without the ignition, and ample storage for phones and flashlights and snacks. With a few accessories including a privacy shade and shade awning from Moonshade, both of which are easily attached to Max's exterior, you can turn this into a bedroom and sheltered shady lounge on wheels.
Go. Got it.
So whether driving or camping with Max, I ultimately found a machine with few weaknesses and many strengths, and a combination of space, features, and thoughtful touches that serve up an effective invitation to relax and enjoy your surroundings, whatever those surroundings might be.
Thank you for watching. My name's Justin Pritchard, and until next time, take care and drive safe.